We move now to a workshop by Zoho Corporation, which will be delivered by Mr. Bharath Kumar B, Head of Marketing and CX. Topic, Accelerating Digital Innovation in Manufacturing.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm Bharath from Zoho. Thank you for the kind introduction. I'll quickly get started. I want to start with a thanks and a request. Thanks for two things. Everything that you do as manufacturers. Again, Ms. Rashmi Bansal, when she started, she spoke about manufacturing. It brought an anecdote that happened in my life to my memory. So I joined a software organization 12, 13 years back. Before I worked for Zoho, I was in another organization. So I started selling software to manufacturing companies. That's where it started. So the head of the business called a few of us who had joined the team then, around 7, 8 of us in a room, and he said, this is how we started, like, pick me an item from this room which is not touched by a manufacturer. Like, we were not able to pick one. Like, even if we do it now, anything that we have here, from the chair to the mic to the things that we are using, everything is here because there was a manufacturer behind that. So thank you. One smart cookie said air. Like in the room he said air. Then the head of the department said, even that is touched by the AC, the cooling unit, which had to be manufactured by someone, right? So thank you for everything that you're doing to keep us going. And the second thanks is for being here. They say the most important thing in life is showing up. You have trusted your next 40 minutes with us. I'll ensure I'll value your time. That's a promise from our side. So I'll get started now. I'm going to talk about just 3 simple things. What is the tech landscape that we see? What is Zoho's approach in this? And what are some of the success stories that we see? Data clearly shows that manufacturing organizations themselves say that we are still not there in terms of digital maturity. There are a lot of complexities depending on the type of organization. There are large players, multi-country organizations that say, oh, centrally, the US office does something, I'm not updated with this. Or there are smaller organizations that say, I don't have the bandwidth to do things that will help with my maturity. But everybody sees this as a priority. There is no confusion that food clothing software is important, in the right sense, jokes apart. But the pace of innovation is a constant barrier. So this is from multiple surveys, including a recent one from Deloitte, that goes on to talk about how the speed is a barrier, but organizations that adopt tech are expected to grow 4 times over non-adopters. So that's the numbers, that's the predictions, that's the trend that we are expecting to see. So yes, we are all aware what is the right thing to do, but we are not doing it. What is the reason, right? I mean, this is more like fitness, going to a gym. Nobody will say it's bad, right? All of us know that's the right thing to do, but somehow we don't do it, or many of us don't do it. What is stopping us? So in our own way, we picked 4 reasons that we have learned over time on what stops people from actually going to this digital maturity. First is the rigid core of your existing systems. Not surprisingly, you also answered saying legacy systems. So you see some animals on screen here, right? Anybody wants to take a guess at what is common among them? I'm going to wait till I hear answers, how much ever time it takes. All are endangered, okay. They are all? Mammal, okay. There are mammal, I mean, both are correct answers. But all are animals, yes. All are unique in the sense that, like how a human thumbprint, fingerprint is unique, a tiger's stripe, a dolphin's fin, and a giraffe's pattern, they are all unique. Uniqueness is in nature. Nature appreciates, nature works thriving with uniqueness. Would you apply the same to your organization? Is your organization unique? I don't know about you, I believe all organizations are unique. All individuals are unique, all organizations are unique. There is something unique with your people, process, pricing, something that makes you stand apart from others. Is your software system, is your legacy tool respecting that uniqueness, or are you force-fitting an existing solution and using it because of constraints. So that is one important reason. Once when I was doing this, one person said they are all tasty. So thankfully, none of you said that. IT business sync is the second reason. IT looks at tools and says, oh, this is a small improvement. This is a minor process improvement. Why do I have to spend so much time for it? Business looks at what IT does and says, how do I even adopt this? Why did they even build it like this? Why is this button not on the left and on the right? Why is it not available offline, right? I go back to RCB as an example for this. There's an interesting stat. RCB won the IPL the last couple of times, right? Anybody who doesn't follow cricket? Show of hands? Okay, so RCB is Royal Challengers Bangalore. In the Indian Premier League, multiple states of India compete. RCB was always looked at as they will never win, but last couple of times they won. One interesting stat that came up was, both in 2026 and 2025, RCB had 9 players who won the Player of the Match award. Other than this, they have always had 2 or 3 players winning the Player of the Match award, except once, I think, in 2012 or something, where there were 6 players. So what that signified to me is, for an organization to win, for a team to win, everybody will bring their flavor, and that has to come together and work to succeed. An IT and business cannot be at loggerheads. An IT cannot refuse to say that I will not look at a business need, or a business cannot say I will not understand an IT need. That boundaries are blurring. Especially in the West, we are now seeing IT heads starting to report to operation heads, because that functions are merging. So that business sync is another reason that stops the digital transformation initiatives. This is a personal favorite. I don't think I even have to explain. Tools that are not connected to each other. You apply for leave in one system, and that doesn't even get translated to your operation system. That is how disconnected systems are. Last is the fear of adoption. Again, I'll ask this question. You're driving a car. What gives you the confidence to accelerate? Brakes? Wow, the question paper was out, I think. Yeah, so typically we look at like the airline quiz that we had in the morning with the Flipkart session. We think of an accelerator, a fuel, a good driver, the road. Yes, but you will accelerate only when you are confident about the brake, right? Otherwise, you will not accelerate. The same thing applies for the compliance, security, privacy aspects as well. When you purchase a software, when you implement it for your business, unless you are sure that the software will have the right guardrails, it can be a fantastic tool. For example, vibe coding tools, AI-based coding tools, right? A ChatGPT, a Claude, or whatever. We know they are intelligent. We know they are very powerful. But can I feed this data into this tool? Can I use this application from this tool? Can I authorize this person to build this tool? These are all security, privacy, compliance questions. What happens if my customer's data gets leaked? What happens if some of my core, something that I don't want to go outside, my guardrails goes outside, right? So in your digital adoption process, if your software vendor is giving you the confidence that the security, privacy, guardrails are taken care of, then you allow people to play around with the systems and adoption happens. Otherwise, we will have systems, but nobody will use it for the fear of failure. So those are some things that we learned. From our point of view, from Zoho's point of view, how are we approaching this? I'll talk about this now. Quick check, am I being clear till now? Yes? No's? Okay, I didn't hear a no, so I'll continue with this. Zoho, we are a SaaS player, 30 years, available across multiple countries, almost 20,000 employees, 150 million plus users. And I want to talk about some of the things that makes us different, not from the point of view that we are different, that is not the intent, but I also want to put that as a humble request for you to look at how you are approaching certain things, which may be beneficial for you at the end. So some of those things that we have taken a very different path is our R&D focus. Morning, there was a beautiful question about India's R&D is less than 1%. Why is it so? Right? Like our R&D spends have more than doubled in the last 7 years, 8 years. But still, if you see as a percentage of overall spends, it's less than 1%. From a Zoho point of view, one thing that we are very clear is we are a very R&D focused organization than a sales and marketing focused organization. What that means is decisions like this. We run our own data centers. Most of you who are in the software buying process would know that a lot of the software players will say, this is our software, it will run on a Microsoft, it will run on an AWS, Azure, whatever multiple solutions that are available. 25 years back, Zoho took a call that when we build, thank you for the applause, when we build, we will run things on our own data centers, which is a very heavy, very strong R&D decision. But we took the decision because we know that anything that will impact our customer's experience, we don't want to tell a customer that it works with us. It works in our system. It works in our browser. It works in our environment. Maybe you have to talk to your cloud service provider, right? So that is a conscious call that we took, that we will focus heavily on R&D. We will invest as much as possible on R&D. And that has given us some successes and some failures. But the successes have outweighed the failures. I'll give you an example. A few months back, a lot of prominent leaders from the central government had tweeted about Zoho's email solution, RTI and all. But the background behind Zoho's mail solution is, for 9 years, this product never made money. Just imagine the guts that it would have taken for the leadership team to say, I will keep building this product, I will keep selling, I know it is going to take a certain time for it to give me returns, but I will focus on my R&D. I'm investing in it for 9 years. Then when it started making money, Zoho Workplace, our email, including our email solution, is the fastest growing product in Zoho today. So that's the result of our R&D focus. Second, we sincerely believe outcomes are more important than credentials. Again, a humble submission for you to look at it that way as well. In the sense that this is a $1 billion plus revenue making company, all marketing fluff, you know. 20% of Zoho employees do not have a degree. 20% of this 20,000 employees that we are talking about have not crossed 12th grade. This is a combination of two things. We run our own Zoho schools of learning, which typically trains around 200 people every year and then recruits them into Zoho. But we also never look at, have you done your MBA? Where have you studied? What is your credential? Do you have the passion? Are you passionate to bring about a change at work? That is what gets measured in our interview and post at work as well. So we put outcomes ahead of credentials. Our investment into servers. Many of you would have seen this news, Natullah, our indigenously designed server, and our own LLM capabilities as well. Again, morning there was this question on how is India growing to grow? What are some things that we are doing? If you use Zoho's solution, you can power them using Zoho's own LLM capabilities itself, currently which is offered at no additional cost. So a lot of things that I'm going to show as we progress. The capabilities are powered by Zoho's own LLM, which is an indication, again, of our R&D focus. You can use your existing OpenAI or any of the other tools, but we are investing not just on the money-making aspects, but also wanting to be sure that we are relevant and reliable 10 years down the line as well. So that's the approach that we take. All of this has resulted in building a unified platform with multiple tools built over time. Like I said, some of these tools took years to be built and launched. But we are very proud that we are a made in India organization that is made for the world. Our revenues, more than 40% comes from the US market and all that. But India, Middle East, these happen to be our fastest growing markets currently. And we are very happy that this sustained investment of nobody knew us a few years back to humbly accepting where we are today, that journey, thanks to supporters like you. I think that is all the learning that we had over time. The focus on data privacy. We will never sell your data. We will never monetize. We will never have advertisements in our product. The focus on governance, like I said, the breaks. How do we ensure that you can be confident when we use our platform? Playing the long game. So that is the approach that we took. From this, I will quickly want to get into 3 solutions. I would like to talk about 3 solutions for today. So First is the industrial IoT solution that we have. What we learned over time, I mean, manufacturing is the largest industry that we serve currently. It was not by choice, but over time we realized that when we say we want to serve India, that happened to be the largest market, obviously because of the market dynamics. So if we take our top 3 industries today, it is definitely manufacturing is among the 1 or 2 at this point. Manufacturing, professional services, education, these contribute to our top 3 consistently. What we realized during the journey is in the IT, OT journey, operational tech as well as information technology, we wanted to provide that capability of OT as well. So our industrial IoT solution, Zoho IoT, has been an important part of us empowering manufacturing organizations, because what we bring to the table is not just the software side of things. Obviously, the devices that you use, the capabilities that you want in terms of monitoring your existing machines and all that. With Zoho IoT, we have been able to power that for our users. And we do that across different spectrums of your operation, right from your production, your quality management, maintenance, any aspect of your operations where there is a machine involved, or in very crude terms, where there is a thing involved. Maybe everything else, the HRMS, the CRM are all meant for people, but if there is any other thing that is involved, any other machine that is involved, how can we empower you in that also, in that adoption also, is where IoT comes into the play. So I'll talk about a couple of use cases alone. This is Wheels India Limited, an organization that has been using Zoho IoT for a few years. It's a very, very beautiful use case. So this is a company that sells alloy wheels for tires to a lot of players out there in the market. So they approached us saying, we want a solution with which we can do our condition monitoring in one factory line of ours. So that is where the journey started. Then they realized that there are multiple aspects of Zoho IoT that they can use to improve their overall business efficiency. So from one unit across the factory and across multiple factories now, everywhere there is a machine data that is involved, where there is monitoring that is involved, including as complex as observability, tracking, for even recall. Let's say, when there is a need for you to know that, okay, what were the batches that were rolled out during a particular phase, which needs to be involved or included in your recall operation, that is powered through our Zoho IoT's intelligence. So over time, they have become a very trusted customers of us, resulted in 2 things. Now, Wheels India is expanding to other areas of business where when they are setting up the factory, right from day one, they are including IoT in their scheme of things. So earlier it used to be I started and then I included. Now, when they are launching a new factory itself, they are starting with Zoho IoT included. They also spoke to their suppliers, vendors, saying, this is what I am doing in my business. Do you want to consider it? Which is where Everyday came into the picture, because they were a supplier for Wheels India. They started with a very interesting problem statement saying, I want to reduce my energy cost. Is there something that you can do to help us? By providing visibility across every aspect of production line and ensuring we optimize that for energy consumption, we were able to make them happy. And then naturally, they are also now using Zoho IoT for multiple needs inside their business. Zoho IoT, the expectations are very different. I think it calls for a maturity from both sides. From Zoho's side, there is a partner that could be involved in terms of the non-software aspects of things, and definitely from you as a customer or a user also. So it's a beautiful relationship that has to work for you to reap the benefits. But if you want to know more about it, we will be available at our booth outside, and we can talk more about our IoT solution. Second is a new and old solution of Zoho. It was always a question that is asked to Zoho that, hey, you have 50+ applications. You're doing so much in different aspects of business. Why don't you offer us an ERP package that will take care of our core business operations? We had a lot of pieces of the puzzle with us already. For example, Zoho Books, again, maybe the top 1, 2 fastest growing product of Zoho at this point, used by a lot of customers, especially in India, because of the compliance angle that we provide. When GST was launched, among the top 18, the first 18 that became GST Suvidha providers, Zoho Books was one. So a component like that. expense, procurement management, even Zoho payments. So multiple aspects that will be relevant for a business from an ERP point of view were all available with us in bits and pieces, serving customers separately for those specific use case. What we were able to build over the last couple of years of investment and R&D is Zoho ERP, which is if you are an organization that is looking at a fully integrated AI native ERP system for your business, Zoho ERP is something that you could consider. Again, it is built with Indian businesses in mind. It's not a simple statement to say built in India for the world. Yes, we have different solutions, like we have solutions that are compliant for, let's say, a Mexico market and so on and so forth. But what we have in India, ERP is launched only in India now, is a very focused Indian compliance requirements thought through ERP solution that is available. And what makes it different is the ease of use and the AI power that it has. From a capability point of view, I'll just talk two things about Zoho ERP. From a capability point of view, all the core financial processes that you need, like you see on screen, in terms of accounting, in terms of supply chain management, in terms of your billing and e-commerce management, all of this is available inside Zoho ERP. So from the breadth of facility or the features that we have, we are comprehensive. Obviously, we are taking our own efforts in making the depth also as comprehensive as possible, but it is happening at a rate that is much faster than even what we predicted. So I'm sure you will see a lot of value with us. But the second aspect, not just the breadth, the second aspect, when I say AI native, what do we mean by that? Is it just a jargon that is used? I just wanted to play this video to show what it is. So in Zoho ERP, when you look at a 360-degree AI dashboard, here is a customer of yours, and the system is going to tell you that this customer has a risk score of 71 out of 100 based on different parameters. What is their usage with what you offer? What are their payment signals? How quickly have they paid? How many times have they paid in time? Have there been defaults in the past? That will clearly give you an indicator that, okay, of my customer base, who are in red, who are in orange, who are in green, and so on. And you can extend this not just to your customers, it can be extended to your vendors. Let's say tomorrow you want to take a call on, I want to procure something. I have 20 vendors who can supply this to me. Based on the history, based on the past delivery times, based on the past satisfaction quality, who suits my needs best? Our AI capabilities, very intuitive, can help you do those things at the click of a button. So that is what differentiates Zoho ERP. Again, we believe it will be a good value add for businesses like you. So if you are interested in understanding this more, please visit our booth. The last solution that I want to talk about is Zoho Creator. Zoho Creator was born 20 years back. The vision of Zoho Creator was to empower everyone to easily build powerful applications. What do we mean by that? I'll again play this video and maybe talk slowly over it. So this is the actual Zoho Creator interface. This is a low-code platform. What we mean by this is you can talk to the system and build the applications that you want. So I'm just logging into the system. I am using AI powered by Zoho, and I'm just requesting the system to build an application for me, saying help me manage my legal consultancy business. Let's assume that's your business. I say I want to go to the plan mode. I select whatever AI tool, LLM that I have, and then I ask the system to build. So here, the system is asking you some follow-up questions. Oh, thank you. You're looking to build a legal management business. What is the focus of your business? What are you actually trying to do? Okay, I answer that. Then multiple questions. So the system is understanding your requirement intelligently, and then it comes on to say, based on what information you gave me, this is the business requirement document. For people who are not on the tech side, I'll explain this a little bit in a simpler way. Business requirement doc is like the Bible for your software. What can be built is a different problem statement, right? Whether I can build it, do I have the capability, etc. But with AI, I feel there is a huge change with the definition of intelligence itself. This is what I think. I could be wrong. Earlier, intelligence means, do you know the answer, right? This is the question, do you know the answer? That was the definition of intelligence. Now intelligence is, do you know to ask the right question? Because answers are available. Answers are available in the AI tools, in Google, in every other place now. Do you know what is the right question to ask? If you know that, you will get the answers, and that is the definition of intelligence today, which is what is getting translated on the screen now. I am telling the system I wanted a legal management business, and the system is giving a proper document saying, oh, this is your objective of why you want to build the solution. These are the different users for your solution. This is the business requirement, the modules, the use cases that you want. Time tracking, billing, calendar management, reporting dashboards. Based on your requirement, I think these are what you want. And this is how the solution will work. This will be the process flow. When someone raises a request, what happens? When someone approves a request, what happens? And how it gets connected to every other tool in your business. Again, that is a differentiator. You will not have the islands, the data silos that was voted as number 2 option. Because when the system builds a solution, Creator automatically connects to your existing solution based on what you are building. It can connect to your recruitment solution. It can connect to your CRM. It can connect to your SAP. It can connect to your Oracle. So you are ensuring that what you build is not built as a standalone solution, but it gets connected to other solutions in your ecosystem. You read the document and you feel like this is good enough for me, you can go ahead. But if you want more changes, add this module, delete this module, you can just talk to the system. The system will make those changes for you. Once that's done, you can just say build application, and the system is actually building the application. The complete, the forms, the data, the reports, the workflows, everything is getting auto-generated at the backend by Creator. So there is, the application creation is complete. So as you can see, this is what the application is going to do. This is the output. This is the different user personas, what they can do, and what are the different modules that have been built. So if I access this application, this is the end output. In other words, by just talking to the system, by just chatting with the system, you can build the solutions that you want. What this necessarily means is, earlier there could be excuses for not having a digital savvy organization. But irrespective of your industry, irrespective of your organization size, small, medium, large, irrespective of your technical proficiency, that excuse is not valid anymore. Because there are systems, not just Creator, there are other tools. If you want to look at well-governed enterprise-wide software providers, you can look at Microsoft Power Apps, there is OutSystems, Mendix. These are some of the players that are operating in this space. If you want personal productivity, quickly I want to build something and use it for my need, maybe not for organizational needs, tools like Replit and Lovable, those are the ones that provide that solution. So there is no excuse for not having a digitally savvy team, department, which will then translate to organization because of the latest capabilities, AI capabilities that we bring to the table. Now, this just continues. You can make changes, you can edit the application, you can keep talking to the system and make the changes that you want. This is not to say that developers are not needed. I would be lying if I say that. But for basic use cases, for basic converting Excel sheets and paper and emails to online application, no developer is needed. You can do it by just talking to the system. So that's what Zoho Creator does. Now, why is it relevant for manufacturing? What have we learned over time with respect to manufacturing businesses? Users of SAP, a lot of you said you're using SAP, right? SAP uses this term called clean core. Have you heard this term? Show of hands, clean core. Is this the first time you're hearing the word clean core? Show of hands. Oh, interesting. So I was in an SAP user conference a few months back, 4 months back, in the US. And this was a constant message that SAP is communicating to its users as well, where they say you could be an ECC user. You want to migrate to S/4HANA. Why are you still waiting? 2027 is the timeline. And in the migration process, you are stuck because you have customized your SAP so much. You have had so many add-ons to your SAP that is stopping you from migrating to HANA. Have a clean core approach. Build through SAP Build or SAP BTP. That is the message that SAP themselves are telling their users. And that is a constant pattern that is now emerging across different ERP solutions. It could be Info or Epicor. Everybody wants to ensure that the core is done by the platform themselves, and things surrounding it are managed by platforms outside. So that is something that we are seeing in manufacturing organizations, keeping the core clean, which means reduce the bloating of your ERP and keep your IT topology clean as well. So you can be using an SAP, NetSuite, Infor, or in future, Zoho ERP as the adoption increases. You can have the core business needs done by an SAP, inside an SAP, and everything outside it. Let's say a vendor management application, a visitor management application, for specific needs. Let's say if I take a manufacturing example, a Digi logbook that you want for your business. You don't have to tamper with your core ERP solution. You can build it on a platform like Creator. So why is this even relevant, Bharath? 5 minutes back you said Zoho ERP. Now you are saying SAP. Well, are we in the wrong room? No, I think that is how Zoho operates. We are not going to say this is what we have, you have to use it. We offer all possible options that are relevant to our users. If you are looking to replace your ERP, if you are looking to buy a new ERP, Zoho ERP is something that we would recommend. If you are looking at modernizing your existing ERP, I am already invested in legacy systems. Again, number one answer that we had. But I just want to build maybe a mobile app. SAP or platform A is not suitable for me to build that. I want to have a custom vendor portal, a supplier portal. Can I do that without shelving my ERP? I've invested so much in this in terms of time, effort, learning, and all that. I don't want to come out of it. Can I use it for certain aspects of my business, but use a platform like Creator to modernize things that are surrounding that ERP, which is what we offer. So some of these examples that we commonly come across are mobile apps. With Creator, you get your iOS, Android apps with no additional work. So things like that, your compliance dashboards, your workflow automation, and vendor portals. If I have to go a little bit detailed about this, these could be the different use cases that you may have for building surround apps. Your ERP can take care of what the ERP is meant for, but if there is something that is process-specific that your ERP is not handling, if that is unique to your business, like we saw, the tigers and the giraffes and the dolphins, if there are things like that in your business where you want a solution for your business, you can build on a platform like Creator. Mobile-first tools that you want. Any other business-owned solution. So you don't have to go through this IT versus business constraint. Business and IT can build things together. And the most important aspect of all is this is integrated with your ERP solution. So this is not built outside your ERP. It is still connected to your ERP. One quick use case before more people leave the room is Hindware. Hindware uses Zoho Creator along with their SAP. I'm sure Hindware doesn't need introduction. But they were going through longer conversion cycle, disconnected systems, and they wanted a platform. They came to us saying, SAP is recommending core clean, we want to make the core clean. That is where they started using Zoho Creator. This is not exactly how they are using, but the fundamental is the same. SAP handles a lot of their core needs, but things like Digi logbooks, things like specific custom price approval, claim management, blue-collar contractor expense management, for those solutions, I don't want to rely on my SAP. Can I build it outside the SAP, which is what Creator does. So we call it, SAP themselves call this a clean core strategy, where your core remains clean and you build things outside, which is the exact quote from the CAO of Hindware itself. We want to keep our ERP clean, so any customization will be built on Creator. This helps keep us maintaining our ERP better. This also helps us to upgrade and transition and all that also of our ERP much better. Again, if I wouldn't even say if you have some thoughts, come and meet us in the booth. If you have a requirement, let's play this game. If you have some thoughts saying, okay, Bharath, this sounds interesting, can you help us with this process? Can you help us with the Digi logbook management? Can you help us with the vendor management? If you have a requirement, you come to our booth and tell us today. And tomorrow when you come, we will have a POC built for you. That's the power of the platform. I know I'm putting Vinod. Is Vinod in the room? Vinod, get up, please. So he's our manufacturing expert. I'm going to put this on you, Vinod, because you told me I need to send more people to the booth. So I'm doing this. If you have a requirement, if you have a draft, rough thought, just come to our booth and say, all talk sounded good. Can you build this for us? Tell us what you have in mind. We will show it to you tomorrow you leave from the conference. So that's the commitment from our side. And manufacturing continues to be an important part of our overall Zoho's business. Multiple organizations. There are so many other tools that I'm not even talking about. For example, Mercedes-Benz's dealer management system is being packaged and resold now as a third-party solution of sorts, which is built on Zoho CRM. Similarly, Zoho Workplace powers so many manufacturing organizations, email capabilities, and so on. Saint-Gobain uses Zoho Creator for their specific custom process needs. So we continue to work. Like I said, manufacturing will be our top 1-2 industry that we serve. Visit us at our booth to know more. If you want to stay in touch, this is my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to connect with me and we'll stay in touch. Before I leave you, I just want to finish with one final takeaway, which is this. Sorry if this sounds a little gyan or philosophical, but this is a story I like. I have been telling this for the last 2 years, and I'm going to tell this again. So that's my son, Keshav, and we traveled to US for a vacation a couple of years back, and we visited the Statue of Liberty. So when we went to the Statue of Liberty, he asked in his curious way, what is the height of Statue of Liberty? How tall does it stand? So the tour guide who was there, the lady said, I think 200 meter or something. So she answered that and said, hey, the Statue of Liberty, it stands, the height is 200 meters. And then, I think 200 feet, sorry. And then she goes on to say, it doesn't matter how tall the statue stands. What matters is what it stands for, right? During those days, it stood for welcoming immigrants, it stood for peace, it stood for liberty, it stood for openness. So she went on to say, as a proud US citizen, it doesn't matter how tall it stands, what matters is what it stands for. I'd apply the same thing to my session also. Maybe I talked about some features. Zoho IoT does this, Zoho Creator does this, Zoho ERP does this. All that is how tall we stand. But actually what we stand for, we are sincerely committed as an Indian organization to help as much businesses, especially Indian businesses, to thrive and succeed in the global market. And for that, you can count on us as a partner and look at working with us. With that, I will finish my presentation. Thank you so much for being a patient audience.